sure that she doesn't get into any sticky situations, can just get the bail out there with the Devour. Hyper aggressive from the side of KT with that Camille and that Vayne and the Kha'Zix.
People will wonder why not Zoe, because Zoe's available here and you could just play defensive and try and kill Mouse. Obviously not the easiest with his passive, but more importantly, consider all the picks kind of in unison. Super lockdown, global, slow. There's so many different ways to gap close and kill a Zoe that the amount of risk for the Zoe pick isn't really worth it. They've already got super damage out of top and especially the Vayne, so something that can have that little speed up, just get out of sticky situations in the mid lane, be safe with shields, and then buff up the carries, including Kha'Zix here. No Galio in the meta right now to run the Galio-Kha'Zix combination that KT loved, but the Karma, a different way of adding a bit of tankiness to the team. They don't opt in for the Zoe, they go for something a little bit more boring when it comes to the 1v1, but there's so much fun, there's so much action going on in terms of these picks. It's going to be a really fun one to watch.
I mean, this is the game where I think I don't want to watch the mid lane. I think we've kind of moved away from the bot lane being the boring aspect. Now that we have this Vayne coming through with the Tahm Kench there for KT, I think it's more the mid lane where it's like, okay, you know what? He's gonna throw out his silence. There's gonna be a bubble on the Karma. She's gonna eat up all the damage, and then nothing's gonna happen till level 6.
Time though, Achilles.
I think it's about where we are, but yes, here we go, guys. Game number 3 of Afreeca vs. KT. Let's see who's gonna take home the victory. KT fans being bolstered. You see that jump forward with a hook shot there. Keen getting stunned up.
This map was a little bit too excited there. If he was able to close the distance before, allow his team to back him up. Stun at level 1 is really powerful. Go for the hook shot. Now he has to lane with the hook shot, which is not ideal.
Not having the tactical sweep. Could hurt quite a bit at the start.
So I can tell you the keystone, Miss Spirit, without looking at it or cheating. It's going to be press the attack, which is the big reason that Shyvana come back into the meta. There it is. Look at me. So clever with the Shyvana. Press the attack. The reason why we see it on her and almost no one else. You know, Vayne, for example, people thought that would be a press the attack champion. Definitely not. In fact, Klepto Vayne. That's a new one. Obviously,
okay.
Tumble Auto is going to be a way to proc it, but that's a surprise.
That's definitely not what I was expecting.
So the reason why Shyvana and no one else takes press the attack is that Shyvana instantly procs it. Auto Q is 3 auto attacks because the Q counts as 2. And then from there, then you press the burnout. Then you use the challenging smite. And you get basically a guarantee that if you hit the auto Q, you're going to get the extra damage, the 12% extra damage on all of your rotation. So that's what puts her over the top, is that she uses press the attack better than any other champion in the game because she reliably procs it in an instant.
Smeb feeling a bit spicy there. Going aggressive here onto Keen yet again. Only has 1 minion and he's still just trying to trade. Get that kill there in the top lane.
Only watched international events and just sparingly Smeb. You might wonder why he's gotten so much respect from himself and other analysts previously, because he hasn't always had the big times on the international stage. Think of one big Cannon ultimate at the last Worlds in 2016, and apart from that was on Trundle duty that time, didn't make it this year. It's the fact that no one I've seen is better at, 2 games just playing game plan, can be like, well, okay, this is fine, I'm kind of losing some CS, but whatever. And then instantly can be like, okay, now I'm actually the aggressor. I'm going to play the lane perfectly from ahead. You already hit the first stun. Look for another one here.
Yep, the hook shot. Closes the distance with the flash. Tries to lock up Keen. Flash forward coming through. Score chasing in. One more hit will do it. That's first blood going over to KT. Just 3 minutes about into this game.
Beautiful.
Really well done.
He knows his limits. He knows his ranges. There's been so many times he's sidestepped the last auto, outplayed again. This time working with a gank. He knew if he flashed in, didn't matter whatever Gangplank could do, he would die. Excellently played by Smeb in the top side. And we said, what's Keen look like when he falls behind? What's Keen look like when he doesn't have counterpick? We're going to get some evidence over the course of this game.
See how things are going to turn out. Kuro in the meantime being brought under quite a lot of pain. 13 CS to 22 at the moment. Pawn is just keeping him low on the HP and the mana. You can see he's forcing out that back.
Minion
He's got the spell book, so he could swap off Eventually go for something like the teleport to be a bit more reactive to try to match pawn with the roams. We'll see that TP coming through now.
Minion Dematerializer as well to try and help the Malzahar push in the early game before he has enough points in his queue. Talked to a couple of players in Korea because we saw a lot of Minion Dematerializer yesterday. A little bit less today, but still more common than you expect because a lot of people looked at that rune and said, looks pretty junk, you know, it's like just situational, can't use it on the first wave to get level 2 because it has a lockout for the first 2.5 minutes. But the big story is that if you think about back timers, and if you ever watch pro streams, they always talk about you have to back on a cannon wave, for example, because your minion wave is going to push out, it's going to take longer for it to reach your turret, you lose less minions if you push out in a certain wave. It's about things like level 6 power spikes for, say, a Varus Taric, but also just ensuring the best back possible. And that's not normally something we speak a lot about in pro play, but considering we're seeing teleport Sivers trying to abuse back timers, things like Minion Dematerializers for someone like Ezreal to try and stay competitive in that scenario are becoming more and more of a factor because they're introducing new ways to influence minion waves, like the ability to just click on a minion, a cannon minion for example, and delete it, which is what this particular rune does.
Be taking things nice and slowly here after that first blood came through for KT. Dazzle not quite going to connect there into that bottom lane, and so far Def not having too much trouble with that shortened range on the Vayne, still keeping himself a bit further ahead of Kramer here as far as the CS is concerned. The poke is going to be the biggest factor that they have to worry about. Much more sustain there available for the Afreeca Freecs.
And if you think about it, quite little sustain, and that's kind of a measured statement because you're still going to have double relic shield. You're still going to have overheal most likely. Actually, no, I mean, it doesn't have the defensive change. There's no overheal, and there's no fleet footwork, remember. Yep. Klepto is on the screen. We have to trust that is, in fact, the rune chosen. He actually is a low sustain Vayne. This is doubling down on weak laning phase for Deft. You know, you can tell from the red pot that he has in the inventory that he doesn't have extra healing. He's opting into a horror laning phase against Varus.
I mean, his sustain is going to be the biscuits that he's getting, basically. Biscuits and the health potions that he can net himself from the Kleptomancy. That's just about it. Hook's coming through here. Still has the wave pushing.
Good news. Klepto Vayne coming to a solo queue game near you.
Yep. Enjoy, guys. Might want to avoid solo queue for a little while or just ban Vayne every time.
It's an option. It's pretty good in solo queue. Well, the aggressor is Smeb, as we knew from the earlier kill, and now no flash against Hookshot. Means that every time he uses oranges, he has to back away from the minion wave, does Keen. And Scorer's thinking, yep, want to kill him again. Notice that stopwatch is up now, and there is no stopwatch on the Camille, so I have to be a bit more specific here to KT Rolster.
So they want to play this one out. Hookshot coming through. That's going to be the ultimatum thrown down. He's stuck in. Barrel comes through, pops the stopwatch. Does not have the flash, but that's just going to be Smeb and Score backing off.
So the frustration for junglers now is, if you think about it, you remember when we started talking about competitive play. May have to hold the point. We'll see if actually we're going to see an overextension. We won't. If you remember the start of competitive play, a successful gank was a kill, and a failed gank was no kill. And then it became, okay, blowing the flash is a successful kill. Is blowing the stopwatch now also a successful gank? So now you have this weird scenario where you have to gank someone twice over the course of the game just to have a 5-minute power window. It's the frustration of the free stopwatches for everybody.
Could be. We'll see how it's going to develop. Yet again, I mean, we're still about as early as you could possibly be into the split, so there's going to be a lot of developments to be had. Tactical sweep coming down there from Smeb, not quite going to clip Spirit, but I don't think they're really going to risk going for a dive. Likely know that Score is still going to be somewhere in the vicinity.
Yeah, it's back timing, and they just wanted to help him push out without game plank, who's had a tough run of it, a bit of help. Remember that we did not see Smeb getting any help on the gangplank, whereas Spirit is getting help. Spirit is helping Keen, I should say, sorry, on the gangplank.
See, I like to think that if I talk about a dive happening, it's more likely to occur. Trying to wheel it into existence.
We've certainly had some Caster Curse moments so far today, so certainly possible. You will notice another small adaptation, another synergy was between Press the Attack and the Challenging Smite. Sadly for all you junglers out there, when you do reach the zenith of pro play, which is the LCK, you're not allowed red smite. You got to get the green smite. You got to put down wards, so it's a little bit less damage output than your average solo kill Shyvana.
Unless you're the oldest person on the team.
That's true.
Then you can do whatever you want.
I mean, Score's Hung, and he's still going for the Drax knife, so
he's just that nice of a guy.
Keen, laning phase, getting a little bit more comfortable. Flashes back up, stopwatch down, as we already know. Mid lane's been the farm fest, as you said, snooze fest. And have you noticed that Deft's handedly winning the bot lane? That's a strange one. Klepto Vayne, 16 CS up. Having a whale of a time getting the extra gold from the Q. That's so easy to proc. I imagine that might be a back-timer thing, but not 100% clear on that.
By the way, he's in a very nice spot. So just want to keep that ball rolling. Some of those items that come through where Svein can actually become a threat. Because right now, Poke not going to be doing too much, whereas Kramer, you know, he's got that percentage HP damage to come through from the corruption stack, so he's going to be much more deadly at the moment in these Poke battles. Whereas Def really needs an extended skirmish in order to excel.
Great.
Comes through, but that's about it.
Consider that you look at the 3 lanes. KT's obliterating Afreeca in lane CS in all 3 lanes. You almost never see this. KT, of course, very mechanically gifted, but I think through last year, I don't remember games where 3 lanes were winning in CS by over 10, but that is the situation right here. So really big laning phase, not all due to score, not all due to matchups even, given that take Varus Tarek every day of the week over the Vayne Tahm Kench. Things going well, very well for KT, and that's why they've opened up a 1,300 gold lead on top of the first blood that's picked up.
I'll just go ahead and take a look at this mid lane. Hero's just got minions on minions. Voidlings, rather. Pushing forward here, but Spawn's just going to kill them all. Spawn. Just reading about that, that's probably why it's on my mind. New Spawn movie.
There's also Spawn, the OPL caster as well. Maybe using OPL fame.
Got to.
Definitely not a unknown term in the League of Legends realm. KT's starting to push up with gold earliest. Okay, action in mid lane.
It's going to be the tether coming down, Spirit. Going to get rooted, but Crow there to body block the tongue lash. So it seems like it's just going to be a bit of a waddle in there for Mata and a waddle out.
Such as Tahm Kench.
Pretty much.
Free boots of both supports because of the extended laning phase. Top lane.
Yeah. Massive amount of damage coming through there from Smeb. Keen able to trade back a little bit with the parlay, but overall not going to be too much as KT goes ahead and starts up this Infernal Drake. Earliest dragon that we've had so far in the series here at 11 minutes. And will be a wraparound from the bot lane. Juicy and Kramer come through to try to contest this. It's going to go low scores there for the smite. They secure it. That's going to be all that she wrote, KT. Picking up the first objective.
And you keep piling up the reasons for why there is this CS discrepancy outside of matchups. Remember, Shyvana jungle, Kilios. Not going to be any real help there as well. The hook shot's down for Smeb.
Barrage thrown down. He does have the flash. He's going to be canceled out there. Now it's going to be Dragon Set coming through from Spirit. Has to pop the stopwatch. Ultimate there through onto score. Has the E going through. He's going to go down. And it looks like that is just going to be a nice little pick off there for the side of Afreeca Freecs. Pawn goes low, but still has the flash, still has the shielding available as the Karma, so he's going to be okay. TP back into the top lane there for Keen as he tries to hold his own. But you can see the trading still coming through from Smeb, just keeping him pushed down.
Actually a pretty big misplay there from Score. He completely misread the gank that was happening. Went in and just was altered there. He's changed target from what was going to be Pawn originally. Seeing the last time we saw this the Vayne here, specific match here, Bang versus Prey, which was lost there. We have not seen Vayne in the LCK since spring 2016, around the time you debuted as a LCK caster, Kilios.
That was, yeah, that was quite a long time ago. That actually might have been the week after I started.
There you go. Vayne has been benched for much, much longer than Mr. Kench, so good to see her back. We'll see if it's a momentary thing. Was played in the LPL, will be played at least a little bit this week. With the changes in the support items, less overshields means it might change. Is Spirit looking for his second visit to a lane?
That's going to be clearing out the control ward, though. Can't sneak his way in, so he's going to keep roaming around here. Slow things down 1-1. The score, just 400 gold, really separating these two squads as KT has that very slight lead, plus the Infernal Drake on top of it. But at this stage, that extra 80 AP not really going to be netting them a whole lot.
The only lead is the CS that's kind of been afforded by the low presence of a Shyvana jungle. And that low presence starting to go away with 5 points in burnout. Shyvana will win 2v2s here unless massive burst happens before she can be involved in a fight. So suddenly things get tricky. Whenever as a Shyvana team, you're competitive in gold and the Shyvana's been free farming, which we can tell has happened. Shyvana's ability to overtake mid to late game team fights cannot be overstated. Once the Frozen Mallet is in, things crazy in a team fight. As Spirit's here.
He's playing very patiently.
I don't know if he spotted him there. I'm going to assume not.
Oh, well,
Nope.
I'm going to say no because he's going in for that hook shot. That's going to be the ultimate coming through. Throws down the ultimatum, flashes out. On is roaming his way up, has the shield to offer up, and now it's going to be the 3v3. His score also arrives. Tether going to be broken. On can't stick close enough to get that root down. It seems like everybody's just going to go their separate ways.
Zooming my eyes, making sure that when the unsealed spellbook teleports from Mana, but he has gone Guardian this game. He's the one that has to sacrifice after no fleet footwork onto Deft. No one else joining the fray. We all back away.
Will be Mata and Deft, however, roaming over into the mid lane.
Just really worry for score here. After dying once, gone for the boots of mobility as well. The timer of Kha'Zix having even close to the presence of a Shyvana starting to really tick and tick away, and Shyvana team fights are soon going to be a thing. Shyvana plus the ability to be completely unkillable with the Cosmic Radiance is a thing of the future, so Afreeca have some real power in the mid game unless KT can stick the landing on what has been a strong early game for them, but only to a point.
They really are going to need Deft to be fast with his footwork there, with his Vayne. If he can stay alive, go around the outskirts of the fight, he can rip anybody apart on the side of Afreeca. Like you said, the Cosmic Radiance will put a delay on that, but as long as he's not directly under threat, then he is always going to be threatening the lives of the members of the Afreeca Freecs.
The ultimate used by Keen here. Good read on the map. Pawn had just left, and they did not have vision of the topside river. That's control wards for KT, but good top laner sense here for Keen.
Yep. Also not going to allow for really any damage to get through in onto that turret. Smith does have the Sheen, not quite the Infinity Force, but still would have ripped that turret apart very quickly if he could get some alone time with it.
Longer the laning phase, the more farm Shyvana gets, the happier you are if you're the Afreeca Freecs. And looking to extend, and you were kind of alluding to the fact that extending against a Vayne can certainly be a fearsome proposition, but Malzahar, even Shyvana can kind of do a number on a Vayne in a fight just because she's so damn quick. Gangplank barrel out of nowhere does a half health to a Vayne, and then just Cosmic Radiance at the right time, and the damage is negated. There is the chance, of course, that we could see a highlight reel play from Deft, but he definitely has a lot to respect in team fights, and one little mental fade will be his death.
Well, for now, just sitting down there in that bottom lane, still has that CS lead. Just waiting for Mata to rejoin him. Now just sitting back behind the turret, keep himself safe. But overall, you got to say, pretty clean farming phase for him. Has maintained a lead, hasn't gotten picked, hasn't gotten any kills himself, but this is about as good as you could hope for overall for a Vayne.
Oh, it's tremendously better than I could have expected because he didn't even go fleet footwork, and he has a CS advantage. That's outstanding if you're a Vayne player. Potential pain would have been something. They would have known that Klepto was there very, very early, of course, given the inventory full of things. Is nice stopwatch.
Just have that one. Just going to take a little bit of damage from that hail of arrows. Dazzle coming through, has to flash over to the side. Yep, Afreeca looking for that opening. A heck of a lot of damage in on the Deft. Now going to be without that flash, so that much more vulnerable.
To ult flashes, just like Ruler's famous play against Faker in Game 3 of the World Final. Spirit spotted an award, but first brick is on the menu.
Yeah, that's going to be the play that Afreeca are looking for, but Deft and Mata, they're going to call the bluff. They go ahead, they stick around. Dazzle will come through, but everybody else is already peeled back. There's an Infernal Drake that has spawned that they could go for if they can find the opening here. Abyssal Voyage coming through. That's going to be Mata and Deft now arriving in the fight. Smeb here above as well as the Cosmic Radiance comes down onto the 4 members of the Afreeca Freecs. Nethergrasp coming down, targeting out in onto Smeb, trying to finish him off, but the Devourer is there to keep him alive, and he's going to be able to exit back into the mid lane. Score also going low, but it seems like they're all going to be able to walk out with their lives. Flashes blown on both sides, an exchange of summoner spells. Afreeca maybe having the better of it because they can go for the turret, they can go for the dragon, but KT do live to fight another day.
Yeah, really interesting one. Both teams skirting on respectful potential to either back in or engage. Ult down on Kramer was pretty significant there. He couldn't look for a pick, so both teams skirted around. Afreeca will pick up the Drake. It's worth noting, kind of stolen under the nose of KT. They're going to look for more, but they won't be able to get the turret as Pawn is staying.
So Infernal Drake to Infernal Drake now. Pretty even playing field. Still just only the slightest bit of gold separating these two squads. This is just yet again Gonna be back and forth. I mean, we might be into this game, Papa Smithy, until 9 p.m. when we can get ready to start our second series of the day.
And we take a break, and we do it all again, because
yeah,
that, of
can't
course, is what happens here in the LCK. Very excited.
I think it'd be very worrying, though, for SKT if this same scenario played out for them versus the Rocks Tigers.
And I think a lot of people have been quite outspoken about, you know, the roster moves SKT's made. I'm ready for them to come out and remind us of their class. They can still come out and obliterate Rocks, who are expecting to be one of the lowest placed finishers here in the LCK. But first game of the season is always going to be a fun one to look at. So SKT Rocks, you know, once top of the table now, should be a comfortable SKT victory. But let's focus on this one, because it's been a great series after the hour of false starts we had with our Papa and Achilleos podcast for an hour. So like you say, finally poised. Still a chance for KT in the late game. It's nothing not... We've had a lot of games where it was like, all right, this game gets to 40 minutes and I'm pointing at one team. There's still reasons that I think Afreeca's favor, but there's no guarantees. Some of the options here for KT, and if Smeb just starts solo killing a Gangplank, then 4-1 is a real possibility as well. So first objective previously to Afreeca after answering KT's Infernal. Now we see Score trained onto the Rift Herald.
It's going to be soloing this one out. Be able to do so with relative ease. Does have Smeb there to back him up just in case, but oh no, it's actually going to be the Baron spawning. He doesn't have time.
I didn't even look at the timer.
Neither did I.
That was comically late attempt there.
Okay, I just assumed the Score would have enough time because he's Score. You know, he's a very smart jungler. That was a bit foolish.
The Rush fanboys getting louder and louder.
Oh yeah, Rush would have never started that.
He wouldn't have wasted his time. There were Raptors.
He would have seen. He would have known. And he couldn't finish it off.
Well, a bit silly there.
Bible
Score. It's going to be a long season for Rush fanboys, isn't it? Well, that's what happens when you have a superstar on the bench.
I mean, that's the thing that honestly we have to has to be proven. Is he still going to be at that superstar caliber after this long away from competitive play? That's going to be it. I'll hold that thought for another time, though. Nethergrass comes down, and that's going to be Score getting absolutely melted. Kuro goes golden, trying to keep himself alive, and Pawn has to flash away as the Shyvana goes in for the chase, but now Smeb going in, finds Kuro, needs one more hit, but somehow just jukes him back. He just walks to the side. Smeb doesn't react fast enough, and now he goes down. That's 2 picks going over to the Afreeca Freecs. Pawn, like you're going to have to back out of here. One barrel could just go ahead and set him up for a death as Keen looks to push in. And suddenly, Afreeca now have the lead.
Pawn doesn't have to worry about dying. No Infinity Edge yet on top of the items here for the Gangplank, but that's what we talked about. What do 2v2s and 3v3s look like when the Shyvana has free farmed? And everyone on the side of Afreeca gave up lane CS for Shyvana to hit her power spikes, and Shyvana there jumped in. They instantly deleted Score. Wasn't even a factor. He's gone into the boots of mobility. Didn't really have much to show for him other than that. Too easy for the side of Afreeca and a preview of future fights.
I mean, Leandri's tournament with a Morellonomicon completed here for Kuro. CDR's there, the percentage damage with the Malefic Visions on top of everything else has come through, and I mean, we know this pick potential from the Malzahar, the lockdown there onto the squishy Kha'Zix. Moby Boots with a Duskblade. He just falls. That's it.
I mean, he dies instantly too. Just an auto attack from Shyvana, and Malzahar's one round of burst, so useless in fights around mid lane. So guess what? Don't go near the mid lane. Do other things on the map. You can still turret dive very well, but skirmishes when Shyvana's around. Unless you know she's far, far away, do not opt into that if you're KT.
Yeah.
Speaking of Shyvana,
go pushing in. Nethergrass, it's back up again. The Devour is there from Mata to try to keep him alive, spits him out. But Malefic Visions and that Leandri's still taking away. Pawn in danger. Chain of Corruption comes through. He gets locked down. Depth on his lonesome in the pit. He is going to get chewed apart. Kramer coming up with the kill. Another 2 members dead on the side of KT, and Afreeca Freecs are starting to run away with the game.
I mean, KT's making face checks they cannot afford to. They cannot cash the checks they're doing right now because they don't have vision control around the mid side. Malzahar Shyvana deletes anyone on the side of KT in an instant, Tahm Kench included. Get 2 kills. They're going to consider the Baron here. They have the Voidlings. Yeah, the call is Baron.
Yep. Go ahead. Start working their way over here. Mata's on the backside of the pit. Score is there. He's alive. He's healthy for the moment, but jumping into the pit yet again. Pretty much just being suicidal here for him. The Bauer goes through onto Tucson. He goes low, but the shielding comes down from the Garmin. They keep him alive, but the TPs are coming through. Smeb jumping into the pit, tries to get the stun out, but it's still going to be the smite coming through his spinner. Goes ahead and confirms the Baron. for the Afreeca Freecs. They will lose out onto Tucson, but that's still 4 members walking away healthy with a Baron buff under their belt, and they still killed Smeb at the same time.
Exactly. Still the objective they wanted. The Malzahar there to interrupt as well. Anyone trying to jump over. Pretty straightforward stuff from Afreeca. Good call. They didn't need to worry about getting the outer mid lane turret or focusing all their time on turrets. Just taking down the Baron so quickly for the Afreeca Freecs, and maybe this will be the day in history where they actually pick up the match win.
Rush would have stolen that Baron. He would have got it.
Shut up.
I just know that that's what's going on here. Kramer, he's going to get jumped on. Just have that stopwatch trying to keep himself alive, but it's... oh, wow! I was going to say it's pretty futile, but he actually manages to kill score at the same time. The damage from that bear is coming through.
Does mean that Def's going to be able to take down the turret as well. Nice trade kill, but kind of a confirmation of the fact that Score really wants that Guardian Angel completed soon, otherwise he's going to die to basically anyone in a Stair Fest. Same time, Keen gets the bot lane turret, same time. The Drake goes down as well. Trying to double down and take a second turret, but not many good news stories here for KT.
Yeah, definitely not. Spirit going to go ahead, get that second dragon for them. Mountain Drake coming through. Deft and Mata will be able to finish off the tier 2 in the top lane. 3-2 as far as the turrets are concerned, but still going to be that 3.2k gold lead for the Afreeca Freecs.
Kuro's still interested here. Will be spotted by 2 wards. Wow, okay,
Power flash
really
away. Mata does not want to mess around with this Malzahar.
You would have thought he would have known because they had a lane ward. The Gangplank wasn't really in close enough proximity, but safety first here and kind of understandable. A couple more things go the way of Afreeca and it's almost a walkover in this game. They feel massively far ahead. Look at Spirit. He's been able to, on top of the core, just pick up more tankiness. He's now going to be just unbelievably strong in a fight now that he's picked up all these items. He's overloaded 3-0 and 3. The early gold didn't mean enough for KT. They haven't got enough turrets to open up. They're behind in turrets in a game against the Shyvana jungle. It's all falling apart for KT Rolster.
Certainly not looking good here. Girl playing very far forward, has the passive up. Continuously push in, threaten that nether grasp. Score's waiting over the wall, spotted out by Ward there, however, so not as sneaky as he would like to be.
Spirit side laning. So that solo queue, Shyvana is going to win this game himself, damn it.
I mean, really, they need Smeb to just go off on somebody, but with the pressure being applied by the Shyvana and the Paras, we already saw how much burst damage Kramer can do. Even in a 1v3 scenario, killing Score, just not looking good. Hook shot to the side, but he's still going to be locked down. Nether grasp just for good measure, and there you go. Smeb is absolutely deleted off of Summoner's Rift, and soon it's going to be one of the inhibitors looking to suffer the same fate as the Afreeca Freecs just come knocking.
The intelligent draw from Afreeca played so well. Going to break the base earlier than expected, 26 minutes into the game.
And much faster than the last 2 games. Inhibitor here in the bottom lane will fall. Smeb still dead for another 20 seconds.
So teleport even when he respawns, so no rush.
Yep.
Just move back. Get out of there. The items, you know, they've powered up for Deft. He's got double Zeal and Infinity Edge. He does so much damage, but you can notice that basically anyone kind of puts their hand up for a fight and they get obliterated by Malzahar and friends. So theoretical damage for Vayne, but effective damage? No. Choosing wrong fights. Really accelerating his only team's demise. It was that attempted dive on the Gnar in game 1, and then in game 3, he's just picked poor skirmishes. So something for them to VOD review. Again, will lead to more people mention the name Rush, and we'll see what sort of change we see from KT Rolster in future series.
You know what I mentioned was, the opportunity that we could see Rush was versus MVP. That just happens to be their game on Saturday.
Why not game 1, right?
It's the next game after this performance from Score versus MVP, who have did not look good. Why not just say, screw it, play Rush for the first game at least?
You know what? I want to have a counter answer, but I don't. I think that is a very good option for them in their next match, especially in game 1, right? Just game 1, and then if all else fails, you can always throw something else. Not going to be any communication issues there, of course. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Wait and see what happens in that particular scenario. But
so hey, you guys better watch on Saturday just in case.
Always appreciate your patronage here in the LCK.
Like I said, especially the MVPs who stuck with us throughout the entire podcast that we had going on earlier.
It's been a long first set, still a second one, but feels like the long first set, maybe 5 to 10 minutes away from an Afreeca Freecs victory, barring the sort of outplay that exactly it has to be disastrous. Multiple different ways. 5v5, you prefer Afreeca's comp. KT split pushing through Smeb early after the first blood looked like a possibility, but it's a long forgotten dream at this point. And yeah, Def got the auto.
Follow the auto.
Got him. I mean, it does cancel home guards, which is hilarious.
Well, okay, they got the turret there in the mid lane, but that's about it. 50 seconds on the next Baron, a minute and 15 on a Mountain Drake spawning. They need kind of a steal. It's kind of their hope.
Seeming more and more unlikely as we push forward in this particular series. I think Baron, kind of the icing they're looking for here, the Afreeca Freecs. Control ward on it. They know that KT haven't been in the area recently. KT do previously, though, have the control ward towards the river brush for top lane. That might actually be helpful. Spirit can zone around, Spirit can level up on score and unkillable at this point in the game.
He doesn't have to worry about a damn thing walking up towards the Kha'Zix.
Ridiculously healthy is Deft.
See how long that lasts. They're just pushing down this river.
I don't know about this one, Achilles.
Can easily cut away over toward the right-hand side here. That's just going to come out. Doesn't find anybody.
KT literally, with that posturing, is saying, we will outplay you, which, with a Vayne, is always a possibility, but it's oh so risky. Death's here and the game's over.
Gets a bit of damage there in onto Tucson. That Vayne damage. He's starting to shine through. He's got the Guardian Angel.
Protect the Deft was Samsung Blue's major strategy. It has been KT's from time to time. Deft is huge, but you would have to have an insane series of outplays to outplay these fights.
This just also give them a lot of time for Smeb to continue that push there into the bottom side of the map. Keen was playing forward up into the jungle, trying to, kind of staying by the rest of the Afreeca Freecs.
It's bigger than that, because they're doing it against the super minion spot lane as well, taking turrets. So hard to do. Ult misses.
Find anything there. Now Afreeca starting to kite back. Def goes forward, tries to get a couple hits in, but can't really get the true Silver Bolt procs to come through.
Can there be that moment of magic from Def? He's feeling it. He is free farm.
Looking for it. Silence comes in. He's down to half HP. The Devour's there from Mata to keep him alive.
Hey, Devour for Cosmic Radiance. You'll take that trade if you're KT.
Very nice one indeed. Now looking for Spirit. Gonna get chunked out. Then other guys comes through. He does have the Guardian Angel, which will get popped now as the TP comes through here from Keen. So that's gonna be Mata going down. Def respawning right into the thick of the members of the Afreeca Freecs, and he'll get taken out. The bot lane completely decimated. And now Afreeca just gonna be looking for, another inhibitor here in the mid lane that can rotate down, retake the one in bot as well. Score, he's on the back side, maybe trying to drag the minions, but he can't get there in time, and be walking into the base of death. Smeb's gonna go in, looks to lock down Kuro. Can they finish him off? Shield comes through. He's not yet dead. He will finally get popped. His pawn finds the kill, but they're trading it for Smeb. They're trading it for Score, who's gonna go down. A double kill for Spear, and maybe this is just the end of the game. Papa Smithy, 32 minutes in, one inhib down, waves coming forward, but seems like Afreeca, they don't want to get ahead of themselves. They know that the respawns are coming through from the bot lane members of KT. They will peel back and maybe set up for that Baron.
With Def with 10 seconds off from respawn, they don't even try to take the second inhibitor because they know that if they overstay for a second inhibitor, Baron is a possibility for the side of KT Rolster. So safety first here is the call with Spirit now. Apparently the shot call from what we've heard. KT, they tried to go for those outplays. You were thinking it was going to be a pop-off, but Malzahar didn't even have to flash to get the ultimate onto Def. A positioning mistake.
Where did Pawn just TP from?
I didn't catch that, but the
I think
super
he just
minion
TP'd
wave
from
there.
the base into right in front of.
Interesting.
Okay.
Let's just leave that at lie as it will. Good news story for KT, taking that particular inhibitor turret. But it's not going to be something they can return to. Feels like the full court press from Afreeca is inevitable. Def trying it again. This time there's no Malzahar to lock him down. No QSS on Def, it's worth remembering.
Yeah, I would say that that's ill-advised.
Especially because he walked up after being devoured, then you devour was on cooldown and died. So, speaking of dying, this Baron is so fast going down.
Yeah, it's just getting melted. Score looking for the opportunity to get in there, but just doesn't really have it. Knows that he'd be going to his death. And the Baron going to go over to Afreeca. 3.5 minutes on the clock. Mid in him already taken out. Bottom one still exposed. KT need an absolute miracle
It's not an impossibility, but it's certainly improbable, Achilles. Afreeca just need to stay rotund. Trying to play the map here is Smeb. Keen doesn't have teleport, so he can be extra annoying here on the Camille and know there's no one to answer him. Oh, the Dragon's going to be a late spawn. It's going to be taken here at 34 minutes, the 4th Drake of the game. That probably will, the game may be over by 40 minutes, so it may not be a massive factor.
Smeb making his way out of there. As we can see the charge coming through from Afreeca, moving down that bottom lane. They want to get that second inhibitor.
Let's see what the next purchase is for Def. Goes back, can of course sell the Targons. Keeps the Targons, sells Guardian Angel for Bloodthirst. So still no QSS. His read here, once he committed to GA, is he can't afford the DPS drop of going QBS. Didn't have an entire Mercurial. So the most damage he can get on his income was a Bloodthirster for another Overshield for healing in a fight. But they have to account for the Malzahar. They need to find a way to stop him just being killed. He's a short-range DPS against a short-range mage that will delete him.
Really running the risk here is Def. It's a lot of cuts, but you can see not really helping him out in any way, shape, or form as that inhibitor does go down. 2 now taken out. Afreeca can draw that pressure away, but Smab, yeah, he's going to be going for the play here into the top lane. And he'll be able to chunk that out very swiftly.
Let's see if they can actually pressure these recalls. Baron recalls.
Trying to interrupt them. Doesn't quite get it. Right in that last little bit. Smeb is able to finish off the inhibitor, however.
Kuro's alone.
Yes, he is. Now the TP coming through, but that's just going to get canceled out. And actually, Smeb setting himself up to almost get caught out there, delaying right outside the base of Afreeca Freecs. In the meantime, KT just going to be losing that Nexus turret.
Oh no, the cannon minion got confused.
Oh, didn't know what to do anymore.
That cannon minion was paid off. That's what I think there. Quiet, please.
I have forgotten my function.
How do you get distracted from this like appealing large turret and just go for a random minion? I don't understand.
I don't know. It's like seeing 20 bucks on the street and then going for the penny.
I'm guaranteed the penny. The 20 bucks is 50.
But the penny's good luck! It was face up! Think about what that luck could get me down the line.
Well, all the luck.
I could find 20 bucks!
It's good luck for KT, and they need a couple more moments of that. They need to find some 4-leaf clovers, some rabbit's foots, anything appreciated. Hard to understand. Look at the gold that Deft has. He has about, what, 2,050 worth of gold to spend because you can sell the Targons just over 300. Is the shield worth it over a QSS? You'd think not, but also you have to also take into account that right now he can't be shopping, he needs to be in lane, so the next purchase time may never happen. The game could be decided. Kuro has flash available, wants to flash ult at any opportunity, but he'll take a free turret first.
This is nothing they could do. Depth is like walking up and just getting 1 or 2 shots off, but he needs the extended fight. He needs to be able to get those true silver bolt procs. And look at the turret just get melted.
He's caught.
Getting corruption coming through. Mana's still going to get rooted, but still has the Devour to keep Depth alive. And that's going to be all 3 now down. That's going to be the Nethergrass coming through. Depth, all the shielding, trying to keep him alive. Isn't going to be enough to Devour.
Dies.
Not going to happen. He's going to die. Keen comes up with a kill, and that is going to be Afreeca doing it. They had a 0% win rate against this team in 2017, but they come out here at the start of the new season and they take down KT Rolster. A lot of people, jokes aside, got very excited for KT. But this is not the start that they wanted. Afreeca